Hey babes, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new to my channel, welcome to my channel. I am Jay. So in today's video I decided to go ahead and do a look inspired by the song Wockesha, and I had so much fun filming this look. And if you understand what the song is about, then you know the whole inspiration and the purple behind this look. And if you don't know, then maybe you're too young and it was meant for you not to know or not to understand, but you can still go ahead and enjoy the video and watch me create this look. So without further ado, let's skip the chit chat and get right into the video. So those of you that have been rocking with me for a while, you already know I'm starting off my face using my NYX brow pencil, and I am so loyal to this pencil now. I swore up and down, y'all, that I was gonna go back to using pomade, and I did use pomade a couple of times, but that's only because I couldn't find my NYX brow pencil. But I have to say that I think I'm gonna stick to pencil. I love the light soft look a lot. And there was a couple videos where I had thought I was using my NYX brow pencil and I was actually using a Wet n Wild pencil, which is a lot cheaper, and I had figured out that I actually like that one better, which is very awkward. So if you guys are looking for a nice inexpensive pencil, I would say go ahead and use the Wet n Wild one. I still love my NYX brow pencil. The Wet n Wild one is just a little bit more on the dry side, I want to say, so it helps the product stay in place, and I absolutely love that. Next, I'm going to be taking my go-to concealer, which is my Born This Way concealer, and I love this concealer a lot, y'all already know. And I'm taking a flat brush by Molly O'Brien, and I'm just going to take that concealer, put it on that flat brush, and use that to go ahead and carve out my eyebrows. After shaping out my eyebrows, I'm just going to take this small patting motion to go ahead and blend the concealer down towards my eyelids. So those are my babes that have been rocking with me for a while now. You guys know how much I love the P. Louise Academy and how much I love Paige and all her makeup tips and tricks, and the most valuable thing I learned from them had to be patting motions. Like patting motions, whether it's with your concealer, your foundation, whatever it is, like it's the best. If you're looking for that full coverage, like when you look at a girl's face and you're like, oh my god, her face is so flawless, like her foundation is thick but it's not cakey and it's just flawless, it's that patted motion. That is the best makeup tip I have ever had in my life. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, that is the best. If you're not patting your foundation, whether or your concealer, whether it's with a sponge or a brush, if you're not patting it, you're just dragging it across, you're not really gonna receive that full coverage that you're looking for. I'm telling you, you need to start patting things into place. Don't think it's gonna be cakey or it's not going to be blended. It is, trust me. Moving on with the eyes, y'all, I am about to go crazy with these bases. You guys see how much bases I have in my hand. I love these. They make every single look. So the first company of base I'm going to use is the P. Louise base in number 4, and that just matches my concealer color. So what I like to do is just lay this down first, and I like to lay it right underneath the concealer or kind of on top of it. I know that Paige talks about this 50-50 method with eyeshadows, but I also like to apply that 50-50 method to my eyeshadow bases, since that's what the eyeshadow is going to be laying on anyway. Next, I'm going to be taking the two colors Batter Black and Vivid Violet, and I'm going to be mixing those together to give me a nice raspberry plum color. I don't know why, for a while, yeah, I've been calling this color Batty Black. It must be a mindset thing because, hello, but yes, I've been calling this color Batty Black, and it's Batter Black. So I took these two colors, I made this pretty raspberry color as you can see here, and I'm applying that right underneath the first P. Louise base that I lay down and a little bit on top of it, and I'm using that same patting motion with that flat Molly O'Brien brush. And lastly, I'm going to be taking Batter Black by itself in a much smaller flat brush, and I'm going to be patting that right underneath that raspberry color that I created. Next, I'm going to be taking my Be Perfect and Stacey Marie Carnival 3 palette, and I'm going to be taking the two colors Blackberry and Black Beach, mixing those together and patting that with a fluffy brush right on top of that black batter P. Louise base that I laid down. On top of that raspberry base that I created, I'm going to be taking the color Fruity, and I'm going to be patting that right into place on that base. I'm also going to be using the 50-50 method to blend that into that purple black eyeshadow that I created. And as you can see, applying that 50-50 method to your eyeshadows blends them so perfectly. Like, look how the black just ombre straight into the raspberry color. It is so beautiful. Like, before applying that method, I was always wondering why my eyeshadows look like they're just separated. Like, it looks like stripes on a flag, and it was not giving what it was supposed to give. And I was like, no, I have to try this method, and it actually worked for me. So here I'm just raising my eyebrows because I was trying to just blend out those harsh corners on the eyeshadow, and that's another mistake that I was making. I wasn't making sure that I lifted up my eyebrow and really blended out those corners of my eyeshadows. It was looking very stripes, like it was giving stripes on a flag, and it wasn't giving. All right, so here I'm just lifting my brow up, as you can see, so I can go ahead and really blend out those corners. And what I like to do is just take a lighter eyeshadow to go ahead and do that. So I took the color Tahiti. Now, to cut my crease, I could go ahead and use the Vivid Violet P. Louise eyeshadow base, but I took another route instead. I decided to go ahead and use the Acid Rain P. Louise paints. Now, I know a lot of people are like, what? Like, those are paints? You're not supposed to put eyeshadow on there. Well, there's no rules to makeup as long as it's blended, okay? These paints are super pigmented, and it's still a very nice creamy texture. You can still go ahead and use eyeshadows on top of it. Like, there's no rules. So I went ahead and I laid down my paint, and I patted that into place. And yes, if you're a beginner, I don't recommend these to go ahead and cut your crease or to apply eyeshadow on top of, because they are very thick. All right, so it's very hard to work with. You really got to know how to move those fingers and work. I was trying to go ahead and do that cut crease trick where you go ahead and you look up and it'll show you where to cut your crease, because I always end up making one bigger than the other, but it wasn't working for me, guys, because I have almond shaped eyes. And those of us who have almond shaped eyes and our rounded eyes, you know that we have limited lid space, so it wasn't really gonna work for me with my almond shaped eyes. So I just decided to go ahead and try to just cut the crease regularly. But going back to the paints, I really do adore these paints. One day I couldn't find my number 4 P. Louise base, and I was like, dang, what am I gonna use? So I decided to go ahead and use my nude paint, and the eyeshadow came out, oh my god, the pigment on it was amazing. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna use my paints more often to go ahead and apply eyeshadow on top of. So now I'm just making sure that my crease is nice and precise and perfect and cut to perfection. I never used to do this, and I never used to like my creases, so I made sure that it was cut to perfection. And now I'm taking the colors Tahiti and Fruity, and I am patting that in the inner corners of my eye. Now, I was going to pick up a matte eyeshadow for the middle of my eye, but there's this color all the way at the top of the palette called Starlight. It's like a nice shimmery amethyst glitter, and I just had to try it, and I love the way it came out on top of the Acid Rain base. It is so pretty, and it complemented it so well. Going back with that batter black base, I'm going to be taking that with another flat brush, and I'm just going to be blending that on the outer corners of the eyeshadow, kind of fusing it into the eyeshadow that I already had blended because I did not want to do a full cut crease. Applying that 50-50 method again, I'm going back in with the color Starlight, and I'm kind of blending it over that batty black base because I didn't want the black to be too up on my cut crease. Then I went back in with the color Blackberry and Black Beach, and I blended that on top of that batter black base. Just to make sure that color Fruity is really showing and it's not being washed out, I patted a little bit more on top, and then I'm going to be using small circular motions to go ahead and blend out any harsh edges. My base that have been here, you already know what I'm doing. I like to take a angled brush and some black eyeshadow and just go over my cut crease to enhance it. Now it's time to move on to my go-to wing eyeliner, and I'm going to be taking my Inglot gel liner that I love oh so much. Let me tell y'all, listen, okay, all other eyeliners need to bow the down, okay? This eyeliner, if you are looking for a matte black eyeliner, I'm talking you've been searching forever for like the blackest eyeliner, you know, you couldn't find one, you've been finding ones that was gray, kind of have a gray undertone or a brown or like a blue undertone, you couldn't find that perfect black, like the light doesn't even reflect off of that type of black. Well, look no further. The Inglot gel liner is the best when it comes to having a very matte black eyeliner that does not have a lot of light reflecting on it. This eyeliner is amazing. Yeah, if you're gonna watch me from now on, this is all you're gonna see because I haven't found anything that can top this eyeliner. And if you search best black gel eyeliner on YouTube, there are many videos, okay? So now I'm just taking my go-to mascara, which is the Great Lash Mascara, and I'm just applying that to my lashes. Okay, so we are all done with the eyes for now. Let's go ahead and move on to the face. Starting off with my under eye area, I'm going to be taking my Smashbox under eye primer, and I'm just going to be applying that to my under eye area. If you do not have like dry under eyes, or you do not have deep tear throbs, your under eye area is just perfect, you can go ahead and skip this step. One thing you guys got to remember is that not every step is for every person. Like, you can customize any look to the way you need it to be. You don't have to do every single last step that anyone is doing, because my skin is different. I have a very sensitive and kind of like a sunken in under eye area, so I have to go ahead and prime so that it won't be dry underneath my eyes. Next, I'm going to be taking my Holy Grail primer, which is my Calamine lotion. Okay, I live by this. I worship this. This is amazing. When's the last time y'all see me use like an actual primer, like an actual cosmetic primer? Because you all know Calamine lotion is like made for rashes and stuff. When is the last time you see me use it? Never. Exactly. Well, a long time, because I live by this stuff. Like, it's amazing. I can't picture myself using anything else except for the Becca primer. That's about it. So I had created a TikTok about my Calamine lotion, and it had blew up, and y'all was like, well, how do you apply it, and how do you use it, and how you do this, and how you do that, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you guys gotta go ahead and go to my YouTube channel, because that's where all the tea is. All right, so how do you apply Calamine lotion? I applied mine very simple. You could use anything. All right, you can use a flat brush, you can use a fluffy brush, you can use your hand. Like, it's no way to apply it. Just put it on. Okay, don't rub it in like lotion. You gotta layer it on. Don't rub it in. And right now I'm just using a fluffy brush, and this is a Done brush. Okay, this brush was like, I was over this brush, which is why I used it to apply my calamine lotion. But you could basically use anything, y'all. It's gonna work. Don't think too hard on things. That's one thing that you guys do. You guys go ahead and you think too much. Don't process it too much, alright? Just go ahead and just do it. When I first was applying this, I was applying it with my hand, but I just don't like the feeling of it when it dries on my hand, and I didn't like to go ahead and clean it up and do all of that stuff. So I just started using a brush, but you can use any brush. You can even use a sponge. Focusing back on my under eye area, I'm going to be taking my LA Girl Pro color corrector, and I'm going to be applying that under my eyes with a sponge. Now, I know a couple people on TikTok were like, oh, you don't need that much color corrector. They weren't talking to me, they were just saying in general, like people, beauty gurus and stuff. They're like, oh, beauty gurus lied to you, you don't need that much color corrector. But do you see the difference? Do y'all see that right now? Like, I know what works for me, and that's what pisses me off sometimes. People say you don't need to do this or you don't need to do that. This is what works for me. I've tried other people's makeup routines, quote unquote, and it just wasn't giving what it's supposed to give for me. Like, I like the way I do it, and you should also keep that in mind. However you like to do your makeup, do it, all right? Don't overthink it. For foundation, I am taking my Juvia's Place foundation in the color Kampala, and I'm spraying a little bit of my Urban Decay priming spray onto a fluffy Real Techniques brush. Now, you guys know that I have been using my Becca foundation for a couple of videos, but I had to go back to my Juvia's Place in Kampala, and I usually mix this one with another color, but I used it by itself because I had caught a tan, and a couple people noticed, and y'all tried to come at my head as usual. Like, that's what people like to do. People like to go ahead and just point out things that they think that you're going to be insecure about, or they think it's going to hurt your feelings, and it's like, mama, you can't hurt my feelings, okay? It's summertime. I'm a brown skin girl. I'm from New York City. I travel. There will be times where I cannot switch up my foundation every second, okay? I can catch a tan with my foundation on, and at the end of the day, this is how I make my money. So the content's gonna have to be made whether I have a tan or not. You understand me? So I can just go ahead and switch my foundation. It's nothing serious. So that's what I went ahead and did. I caught a tan, so I went ahead and used the color Kampala, and it matches the tan that I caught so perfectly. So I'm just taking that brush again, and I am patting my foundation into place. Like I said, pat everything into place, okay? Moving on to highlighting the high points of my face, I'm going to be taking my Bronze with concealer again, and I'm going to be drawing on my triangles. Yes, my triangles. What happened? Speaking of things that people swear are so trendy and that everybody should be doing, let's talk about these triangles for a minute. I don't know about y'all, but I love the triangle method of doing my concealer. I have tried that new way. You know, it's like people put a little bit of concealer under the eye and then like on the corner, and then they blend it out. It wasn't what it was supposed to give for me again. So this is why I'm saying stick to what you know and stick to what you love. Like, if it's a very good makeup like tip that can help you with the like blending of your makeup, then go ahead and do it. But if it's a method like a certain facial structure method, stick to whatever method you like, because I tried it and it just wasn't given for me. Like, it wasn't even highlighting for me. I guess because my cheekbones are already high, I don't need to do that, but it just wasn't given for me. So I'm gonna stick to my triangles. What I will say is that what I do want to try is drawing on my triangles and then using a even lighter concealer on top of that to go ahead and do that new makeup method. I'm gonna try that and I'm gonna tell you guys how I like it. So the corners of my eyeshadow kind of got washed out a little bit from the concealer, so I went ahead and I fixed that, and now I am taking my Laura Mercier setting powder and I'm taking a Juno sponge and I am just setting that highlighter that I placed down into place. And to set my nose and my cupid's bow, my chin and my forehead, I'm going to be taking a fluffy eyeshadow brush to go ahead and pat that powder into place. And this really helps when you want that nice slim contour on your nose. Using a eyeshadow brush instead of your sponge helps to concentrate the product exactly where you want it. Then using another eyeshadow brush and my Fenty bronzing powder, I'm going to take that brush, put some powder on it, and go ahead and contour my nose. I'm telling you guys, using eyeshadow brushes for this really helps to slim down my nose exactly where I want it to be. And something new that I started to go ahead and just kind of make that contour a little bit more precise. And I put some Laura Mercier setting powder right next to it. And to go ahead and bronze up my cheeks, I'm taking that same Fenty bronzing powder, a nice fluffy brush, and using circular motions, I'm going to concentrate that into place. Set my entire face, I'm using my Fenty powder foundation and a fluffy brush to go ahead and just blend everything together, wipe away any harsh powder so that we not look like a powdered donut. And yes, I'm just blending that all together with my Fenty powder foundation. And to highlight, we're using yet another Fenty product. Okay, I love Fenty, holla at your girl. All right, thank you. To highlight, I'm going to be taking my Fenty highlighter in the color Trophy Wife, and I'm going to be taking a small eyeshadow brush and just applying that to my cheekbones. And I love this method, guys. Like, eyeshadow brushes, I've been sleeping on them. If you want your makeup to be in a certain area and you really want to concentrate on that area, use eyeshadow brushes on your face. Like I said, there's no rules. Just because it's called an eyeshadow brush doesn't mean it has to be only used for necessarily eyeshadow. And for the lips, I decided to go ahead and take my NK lip liner to go ahead and outline my lips. I went with a nice light brown. And to add some color, I decided to take one of my liquid lipsticks from SheGlam. Make sure you guys go ahead and use my code Q4J to get 15% off when you shop with Shein and SheGlam. And of course, I went ahead and added my lashes, added some gloss on top of that. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and fix my hair, fix that little ponytail on the side. And yes, add all the rest of my accessories, my little grills, my little nose rings and all that, and I'll be right back. And voila, here is my final look with all my earrings, my grills, and everything added, all my final accessories. I love it, y'all. Do y'all love it? Like, do you love me? Do you love me not? This look really hit the spot, okay? I love it. I had so much fun dressing up for this look, and I hope that you guys had so much fun watching me, because I know I had fun creating it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like I always say, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also hit that notification bell so that you can get notified every single time that I upload, okay? Also, make sure you guys follow me on my two other main platforms, which is TikTok and Instagram. My Instagram is Jaiye.Pierre and my TikTok is J.Pierre_. Now, if you don't have TikTok or Instagram, which I don't know why you wouldn't have those platforms, so they are booming right now, okay? But it's okay if you don't. I'm gonna leave a list right here on the screen of every single last one of all my social media platforms and all of my Instagram accounts. Make sure you guys go ahead and add me on each one that you have, okay? I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for watching, and I will check you guys in my next video, okay? Bye.